Hello, everyone, and welcome to, I think, what would be the first of many live streams from the pitch. We are here on Thrones right now. Justin's got his multiple drinks per usual. The frozen Irish coffee, how's it tasting today?
I had to get it.
You
It's
do.
it's an early afternoon, but God, this thing is ice cream. It's incredible.
We talk about expansion records and the club setting all these. I think Justin's setting the expansion records for the most drank frozen Irish coffees here at the pitch. It is a paving season for him. This man's setting, just trailblazing all these drink records.
If no one else wants to break the record, I'll do it myself.
Well, Justin, we are sitting, probably a block outside City Park following our second draw of the season, right? In the MLS, at least, that has come at the hands of the Galaxy. The worst team in the MLS, we let them come to City Park, and we only were able to get 1 point on them. Initial reactions, how do we feel?
We played really well, I'd say, to start. The first half was very uneventful. Second half, loved it. I felt we came out pretty hot, as we should. Celia Pompeo, great sub, came in very hot. Can take guys one-on-one. I love what he can do with his footwork. And then Jake, you mentioned it. We just give up late goals, and I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. I thought it was a decent first half. I thought we should have been rewarded with at least a goal for our efforts in the first half, but we were able to get one through Nico, which we'll get to into the highlights. But one-word summaries, I'm on the spot here a little bit because I haven't thought too much about it, but I feel like today to concede that late in the game, after definitely being the better opponent the entirety of the game, I would say it really screams inexperience to me to be able to dominate the game the way we did, score the way we did, off a great piece of brilliance from Nico Gioacchini. And to just, I feel like everyone that watched that game, even the biased and non-biased fans, probably would have said that we deserved the 3 points there. But to watch that, concede the goal, concede the draw, and only 1 point at home here to end our home streak, I think it just screams inexperience. You've got to be better. You cannot concede goals like that so late on in the game, at home especially. Send the crowd home with a little bit of just a bitter taste in the mouth.
Yeah, I get the inexperienced part. I feel like we are experienced enough. That's where it. I know I'm also live trying to think of a word, and I'm gonna say this right now. I'm gonna go ahead and say that my word is lost. I wanted to say confused, but I feel like we lost that game. Even though we ended up tying it, that was not a game that we should have tied. Very poor management towards the end of the game. Multiple chances by us. Confusing first half. We'll get into the details, but I just didn't feel good about the boys on that one. I didn't like it.
If you're saying, I thought you were going to say loss in terms of like direction, but if you're saying losses, I think we kind of lost that game. Well, I think we did kind of lose the hold of that game. For sure.
Also, as well, though, like I feel like we didn't have a direction or a tactic going into that game. The boys just kind of a lot of midfield play in that game. We had some good chances, but I feel like they felt lost. I feel like we lost. I don't know.
Yeah, I do feel like we gave them that draw and gifted them that point, which I'm sure they'll be very happy to take home to LA. But before we get into the lowlights, Justin, there's honestly not too many of them, but let's talk about highlights first. And let's talk about Indy. I thought Indy was a great player for us today. He was very, very dangerous on his corners, which we saw very early on in the game. He ended up being the one that tacked on the assist for Nico Gioacchini for his goal, but a guy that's very shifty and composed both inside and outside the 18. His footwork, his ability to take guys on, it's a presence that I don't think we have many of his type role on the team, so I'm very, very glad to have him. And again, he's still got more goals to add in his game, but I love him playing so advanced up the field for us.
I still feel like Indy is giving us the most chances. We have a couple of notes in here about Indy, and he created the chance off literally across from a goal kick on the 20th minute. And then also outside of that, dude, I know that we just came out with Leuven and Berkey and Parker as far as all-stars. Leuven just owns our midfield. The man creates chances. It's been incredible to see out of him, but Other than that, I'll let you get into more specifics on the first half. But Jesus,
I think Parker got involved pretty early. He was really stiff arming some of the forwards there. I mean, there's a couple moments where you saw he gets a little bit, he extends the arm a little bit, but I think just enough to the ref says, you're just using your body smartly, and kudos to you. But I think he had a pretty strong game. There are some moments of him and Bartlett potentially getting turned and the recovery speed not being there, but it also is there sometimes. Saw that those two had a decent game. We saw Alm get back involved with his first start in a while today, which is great to see. He had a good press going on, directing some of our traffic up top. Him and Stroud, those switches across the field were definitely on for the first half. We had a couple chances that fell to Stroud and looking really dangerous, but just couldn't put the final touch on it, man. Couldn't do it.
It was touched. I feel like we had so many chances getting forward, and the guys did so well to bring them in there. And Nico, we'll touch on the goal that he had. Great little flick there, but there were so many chances that we brought in from the wings, which I love to see. We're working up the wings, especially without Klaus. We can't really work up the middle. And a lot of good crosses from Alm and Stroud. I would have appreciated to see a little bit more out of Stroud. I think he had a couple chances that he could have possibly finished or kind of done a good cross in. The last thing I'll say out of the first half, Tim Parker absolutely laid out twice, just stop shots, and I loved it. That guy, he's an absolute horse. You put that body in front of the ball, he basically covers the whole goal. When he lays out for it, it was good to see him just kind of flail completely and just block these shots.
Totally sold out on those two shots you're referring to. I think those were in the extra time of the first half.
Yes, correct.
If anyone's rewatching the game back. But otherwise, I thought Leuven had a pretty strong game, kind of dictating both defensively and offensively. Blum looked like himself, breaking up a lot of counterattacks and potential outlets for LA Galaxy. They had a couple chances in the first half. Don't get me wrong. Nothing where it screams like, oh, that was a prime goal scoring chance. So I think we limited them a decent amount in the first half. But getting into the second half from the highlights perspective, there was an Alm ball who squared it for Stroud, who just missed it, just didn't have enough leg on it, and just was stretching a little bit too much, was not able to get that on goal. I think we let him off the hook a little bit there. There were some chances created on outlet balls where Galaxy were trying to play out. Parker or Bartlett would step up, kind of throw a shoulder in the back of some of the Galaxy forwards, throw them off. We win the ball, we go forward. And that generated some chances as well with a Leuven shot in the 57th minute. And then we get to our goal with Nico Joachini, the man, coming off and putting on a finish where I don't know if many guys on the team could have done that.
No, I completely agree. You mentioned earlier, Nico hasn't had like an actual true finish, at least that we can remember in recent games. That flick was incredible. Just to the back post. Could not have been a better touch. The man's been in the game, just getting up and back, but it's good to see him get back on the scoreboard, especially after he took that PK from Leuven, which it's one of those things that we already mentioned, like seeing the ball within that. So the band is starting to kind of get downhill and start rolling like snowball, and I appreciate to see that, especially as Klaus comes back as well. We did have a couple. I know we didn't score again, but we had a couple other chances that we appreciated. Indy had a chance at taking off right off of the goal kick straight into Indy. We also had Celio. That man, right when he came in, what was it? Maybe the 70th minute, maybe it's earlier. He can just take guys one-on-one, which I really appreciate, and getting balls crossed in. He's not our best finisher, but when he has the ball at his feet, especially when it's kind of more of a dead play, I have so much confidence that he's going to get past whoever is sitting in front of him, and I love it.
I agree. Go ahead and check your mic to make sure I'm muted. One of the listeners said that you had a dead mic. But to keep going down the highlights, we've got some more. And actually, I was really excited about Celio's debut into the game today as an impact sub. I think you've talked about him being a workhorse and a spark plug for the team. I think he provided that exactly today. I don't think the team was willing to risk sending Alm out for a full 90, given he hasn't played like that in a while. But looking at Celio's performance today, the guy has no fear to take men on down the wings, generate chances, combine with teammates, and we saw multiple instances of that in a short time period today. So I was really impressed with him. So I want to show the appreciation for Celio, and even Aziel Jackson, who came on later as well. I think those two combined well, created their own chance in the 78th minute. Celio had a excellent curling opportunity in the 80th minute, but that's kind of where it ends for us in terms of highlights for me. I don't think we were able to really generate much after the LA Galaxy goal, which we'll get to in the lowlights. Anything else to add?
No other highlights, unfortunately. I think biggest thing for me, Jake, is we cannot give up these late goals. And you mentioned it. This is a team that we really need to focus on, especially in the last 20 minutes or so. We have to close these games out, especially literally the worst team in MLS.
Yeah, I was going to save that for the end of here, but to me, it's inexcusable. You can say how good of a team we've turned out being and how effective we've been in goal scoring and all this and the press and all that. But if you continue to concede goals between the 81st and the 90th minute, you're going to lose points and you're eventually going to lose yourself. And I feel like this team has shown that weakness multiple times this season. We'll find the stats for the preview and be able to read those out when we actually get to it. But I want to say that's the most dangerous 10-minute, 15-minute interval for us is the very last interval of the game. And it's not okay. It's everybody's tired. And you could say, well, we're more tired because we do the press. Okay, fine. Then put new subs on that are going to lock it down because us conceding goals, it hurts when we're winning. It hurts obviously when we're losing. And when it's a close game like this, it means you lose 2 points.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's a legs thing. I think it's almost a mindset. Like, I don't trust. I trust that Norberti and our whole back line, they can play anyway. It's soccer. You've been doing it your whole life, but you cannot drop your mindset, and that's what he did in the last goal. Let's touch on other lowlights until we get to the final goal. But I will say, in the 8th minute, we had a very weak yellow by Lubin, which was very upsetting for me. This team just continues to rack up yellows. We had 3 yellows in the first half.
I think Justin's mic is not working again. I think you keep muting yourself, brother. I don't think your mic's ready to hear your takes because they're it seems to be happening a lot here. But you want to go ahead and say what you were saying again?
All right, I got it back, and I'm going to keep it on my video so I watch it. I just think we have extremely weak yellows. I think the Lubin yellow in the 8th minute. We had 3 yellows in the first half. That's something that we really need to control because it really makes you more cautious the rest of the game, and that's something that we cannot focus on for the rest of the game. With a couple of guys like Lubin, you have to get stuck in some tackles. If you get another yellow, then we're done. I absolutely dislike that.
I thought the fouling too was a negative today. I think we were a little bit too tough on some of these yellow cards, especially early on in the game where just grab a shoulder or let them go. Let them try to beat you down and force their own chance and convert on it because some of these fouls, these yellow cards we were taking, they're so far away from goal, so far away from being dangerous. There's no point in forcing that as a yellow card opportunity. So very bummed about some of the fouling we saw there today. Otherwise, I feel like I continue to see a weakness, and I've called it out before, is I love our press, and I think our press is one of our best friends when it generates chances for us. But sometimes it also could be one of our worst enemies in terms of looking at how, a team can string together 1 or 2 passes, and they're gone. They're through. They're in on goal. They're in on Berkey. They've got numbers in attack. They've got 3 versus 2, and that happens at least a couple of times a game. And maybe it's just a product of the system, but I do feel like you see situations where Tim Parker's just chugging the arms and just trying his best to catch up with whoever's behind him. But it happens a couple of times, whether it's him or Bartlett. It continually happens where we get caught running between the opponent and our goalkeeper on goal, and it's just not a good situation to be in. It's never good.
I think it is a product of the situation, of the system that we press so high. So when they get us, we're out of position with these guys. And I will say, I joked kind of about it. Tim Parker, when he runs, he is just I don't even know what to say. He looks like a horse when he runs. But the other downfall I will say before my mic apparently goes out twice. 2 things. Generally, the ref is there to officiate the game, and it felt like he controlled it, and I absolutely hated that. I feel like there were so many calls, not even on both sides, of just things. And one of the things that I will say specifically in the 60th minute, Douglas Costa, he had more rolls after that foul than I have had at a sushi AI all-you-can-eat dinner. That man just could not stop moving everywhere. I was absolutely shocked. I'm like, did he get shot? I looked around, make sure there wasn't a sniper, like it was JFK stuff. It made no sense.
I think you're back muted again, Justin. But I also would add to that we have another situation where not only are the rolls happening, but everyone noticed soccer like this thing when you get fouled, everyone like flicks their wrist a lot. These guys knew how to flick the wrist. The guys in LA definitely learning this trade, and it works because the ref was paying attention. The more you flicked your wrist or the more that you got your spins or your rolls in after the foul, the more he was willing to call it for you. So definitely a situation where officiating, I'm not going to blame the game on that, but remarkably inconsistent. In moments, very, very tough on smaller kind of type calls, and calling also at times very, very small things that should just be let played. So I would say generally it probably kind of felt more geared toward the Galaxy. They got away with a little bit more than I think we were able to. But again, not a performance where you can blame it on that, because I think there were other things to look at in terms of looking inward and seeing what we could have done better, because there were some faults, like we just pointed out in the lowlights.
Absolutely. And I will say, I think Berkey played a pretty good game as well. There was nothing that I would kind of downfall him for. There was a couple ones where he scared me, but he was so composed to be able to play out of the back as opposed to just launching a ball long. I appreciate that out of the guy. But other than that, I know we're not going to – are we going to go through
we'll go player ratings quick. So Berkey, for you, it sounds like what?
I'd probably give him like a B- or a B+.
B+, okay.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I don't think I would disagree with that. I think he made the saves he needed to make. His distribution wasn't the best today, so I think that's why you dock him a little bit. Back line, I would say the back line, if you take Nerwinski out of it, I would have said would have been an A today. I thought they actually played pretty strong between Hebert, Bartlett, and Parker. They did get turned a couple of times. Like I said, though, we talked about it may just be a product of the system, and when they needed to, they were able to cut out those chances. But that goal stems directly from a Nerwinski giveaway. So I cannot defend him on that. That was something that he needs to do better on. He was caught doing a couple step overs, looked very indecisive on the ball in that moment. So frustrating to see that. But, it is what it is. And so I'd probably give the back line, after considering all that, probably a C+, B- in the performance today.
I would give them a B+ as a whole. Nerwinski a C- just because of the amount of stuff that went on with that goal. The one thing I will say, when we talked about Berkey, and we didn't talk about their goalie, the amount of times that he hit the ball just directly out of bounds, I don't know where the guy was aiming. You called it. It was 5 straight. The man just sailed balls into the crowd.
He was nervous, man. City Park's hard.
It is, but dude, are you just trying to give Cooper over here a free ball?
Who knows? But it's amazing he couldn't take advantage of that. The guy couldn't kick a ball to anyone in the near 10, 20-yard radius. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. But I mean,
we take that for granted.
Maybe we do. I think we do. That's a good call out. I like that. Okay. If we're going up to midfield, so looking at our midfield trio of Leuven, Blum, and Vasilev, I would give them an A today. I don't think I saw anything that would tell me otherwise for them. You have your poorly placed passes, or maybe you stepped when you shouldn't have stepped for a Blum or Leuven situation. But between Vasilev's assist, Leuven and Blum dictated the game. Those two were everywhere. They were everywhere this whole game. So I have nothing bad to say for their performance.
No, I would give our midfield an A as a whole. I would say Leuven probably an A+. I know he didn't score, but God, the amount of times that he does, and he dictates the whole midfield and plays balls wide and gets guys in, I really appreciate. I would say I did not like the sub that brought, Ostrak in for Alm, right?
Yep, that's right.
I did not appreciate that. I appreciated the amount of work that Alm was putting on the side, and I don't think Ostrak needed to get in there. And I thought that midfield was doing very well, so that's the only downfall I would say, but not say the midfield's fault.
Yeah, I think that one might have been more of a for fitness for Alm type situation, making sure he's not getting too tired. But again, I think you did see a little bit of a drop off when you saw that happen. I don't think Ostrak got as involved as we were liking him to be.
But we talked about that. Yes, Alm had a little bit of an injury, but part of that was pink eye. I don't think, or sorry, maybe you're
pink eye is speculation. It was an eye infection. That's all we know.
Yeah. Fart pillow. I just don't think that. I think the man is fit. I don't think that he needed to come off for that specifically, but yeah.
We'll have to talk to Jared Phillips, the sports physio for the team, and see how they make those decisions.
Yeah, don't let other guys fart on his pillow.
If we're looking at forwards for the game, we had Stroud and Alm on the wings today, which is new. Haven't seen that in a while. And then we had Nico up top. Nico was a ghost, I would say, most of the game up until his goal, and he made his moment count. So I give him all the credit in the world. I do think he does a little bit too much of the flicks and tricks. I would sometimes just like for him to hold the ball if he gets a pass, he's got space sometimes. That happened and ended up contributing to a goal last week or this Wednesday. Sorry, wow, it feels like longer than that. We lost to Dallas, but that happened where he laid the ball off to no one and gave up a goal or led to a counterattack. I want to see Nico not play like Klaus, but when he has some time, be able to be composed, sit on the ball, relieve some pressure, let our wingers get upfield and support them like that. Otherwise, his goal was a phenomenal touch. I don't think there's a player on our team that could do that given the one chance that he had all game today to flick that ball over his head in on goal with the pressure mounting like it was. I tip my hat to him. So if, like, with just that, after saying he was a ghost and then scoring the goal, I think I got to give him a B+ on that. And the wingers, Stratton looked so good in the first half. And then we definitely saw a drop off in the second half. So I might go more of a C+ for them.
Yeah, how would you go? I'm going to give a B, a flat B. Stroud, I'm going to go a B- solely because he had a couple chances that he should have finished. I'm going to give Nico an A. I will say maybe an A-. I'll give him an A-. I think that we always talk about, like, we wish he would kind of have more ball at his feet. I think he does a lot off the ball that we don't really recognize, which is appreciated. But he is a U.S. men's national team guy, and he did score. That flick, like you said, I don't think anybody else on the team could do what he did. So I do really appreciate that. Yeah. Otherwise, it's a good game by the fellas. It's just one bad mistake late on that hurts us, and it takes away 2 points.
It does. I think one that you'll look back on if we get deeper into the season and just looking at how the Galaxy have fared in their form right now, that you'll be regretful and not getting 3 points here, because I haven't even looked at the stats. By the way, this is totally raw. We just literally got back here, hooked everything up, and started and hit press play on the live. So we have no stats. Justin might even pull some up right now.
Right.
I bet we had more XG than them. I know we had more shots on goal than them. The quality was in our favor, and to be looking back on this game, knowing that we weren't able to take the 3 points is just immensely frustrating. So it's a little bit sad in that light, but, it could have been worse. Thank God we did get the goal. We did salvage the draw. We got the 1 point, and technically we're still on an unbeaten home streak. The Dallas game, since it started at least, a month ago, does not count in this linear kind of time period. So it counts as a result back on May 6th, not June 6th. So we're technically still back intact on the home unbeaten streak. Could be a lot worse for us, things going, all things considered, but a game that I think you'll regret a little bit if you're Bradley Carnell and staff, where this one kind of got away from you a little bit. Got to have more composure late game.
Absolutely. Looking at quick stats, they had 55% possession. We had 22 shots total. 6 on goal. They had 12 with 5 on goal. None of them were really worrying for Bricky. He didn't have to make a diving save, which we really appreciate. But 22 total shots. I believe that might be our highest.
Yeah, that's definitely one of our biggest outputs. Yeah. But I mean, it's against the worst team in the league too. So you got to contextualize everything.
Yeah. Corner kicks, 11 total. Hits that over. Otherwise, it's just one of those games. When you look at the stats, we should have won this game. Absolutely. It was a little bit of a blunder by Nowinski. That'll happen. It's long.
It is, yeah.
Tough.
I'm not going to blame the loss on him. That's a tough mistake to make at that moment in the game.
And to blame the loss on him because we tied.
That's true. It just kind of feels like a loss at this point. But going into this week, where do we go from here? Justin, we talk about the map. We're not going to have the map on this go around, but you're back muted, just a heads up while we go into this segment. So we usually put the map out, and we have, I think our last destination, Justin, from last week was, we didn't do it for Dallas. Oh no, maybe we did it for
No, we did do it for Dallas. Yeah. We were in
Destin.
PCB.
We were in PCB.
I was partying. Let's just.
I think I'm gonna back up a little bit on this one.
No, I wouldn't even say what direction we're in. We're gonna go to Destin.
I think you just said Destin. I swear you already said Destin.
We were in PCB.
We were in PCB at some point.
I didn't push it. I promise.
Okay.
Jake, I promise.
We're in Destin.
We did PCB. We were partying. Now we're in family zone because we just tied the worst team in the league. So we're not moving back home, but we're also not partying. So we're in Destin.
Okay.
I promise you.
I might say that
for you to look back at this and be like,
no,
yeah, right.
I don't care at all.
Yeah,
I don't care at all. I would say today was a little bit of a step back. Personally, I don't think this is a good way to end that home streak. I think that was very, very frustrating, disappointing result. So I would put us in Gulf Shores in Alabama Just a couple.
Is that
steps
not like
back.
the same thing?
No, I think it's further back. So that's why I'm going
All right,
backwards
fine.
there.
Floribama.
But let's
bar?
talk more qualitatively where we're going from here for this team, because now we just played the worst team in the MLS, and now we're playing one of this year's contenders in Nashville on next Saturday in Nashville, which should be a heck of a game to stack up against one of the best teams in form right now with a stud in Hani Mukhtar. So,
and unfortunately, we're gonna miss Blum.
we are going to miss.
He's going to be playing in the AFCON down against Morocco, which would be a awesome game to watch for anybody. I don't know what that's streaming on. We'll definitely get a link out for that. But South Africa versus Morocco going down in Nashville, not good for us after this kind of result that we have. I don't know if Klaus even. Nope. All right, Klaus probably won't even travel.
No, dude.
I'm not worried, but I would really appreciate somehow a swift dub.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Nashville's going to give us hell, and I think this is a game we can learn a lot about ourselves from, though. And I think that's a good thing. Where you're going to be missing one of your key players in Blum. Obviously, we're still missing Klaus. We're still probably a month or so out from Nilsson coming back. But it's a game that you can learn something out of. So I don't think they should go into this looking to just accept a draw or accept a loss. But let's go out and play like we can win this game. And let's go test ourselves against the Eastern Conference opponent that we wouldn't see again unless it was in an outside MLS competition or in the playoffs themselves. So a very exciting fixture for us, which will start basically a full week of games. We have Nashville. Then we have a Wednesday midweek fixture, and then we have another Saturday game. So a lot of games coming up in the next 10 days, starting on Saturday this coming week, starting with Nashville. So quite a way to start.
As you mentioned that, I would appreciate if we could kind of like not go down there assuming like, hey, let's just get out of here with a point. Let's just go in. Let's go hot. I would appreciate, honestly, a little Nico Gioacchini start. See if we can get something out of, or sorry, not Nico Gioacchini. Looking at everybody else that Celio Pompeo. Let's just maybe
some rotation.
Yeah, I'd about to say maybe let's switch it up as we're going in hot against a team that we're not going to see again. ACL Jackson. See if we can switch stuff up. But yeah, it'll be a good game.
There's going to have to be some rotation that week because we have Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday.
Right. We're going to need some fresh legs in one of these games. So it depends on which one Bradley wants to kind of go with. But we're definitely going to see some new guys and some new legs. Get Johnny back at left. Last thing I'll say, Nerwinski, maybe I've been too harsh to start, but the goal today was pretty bad. I would love to see what do we put like
we've talked about floating Hebert at right back, maybe bringing Nelson back
Johnny
to
back
left.
at left.
Yep.
Yes, I wouldn't be opposed to that. That might be a lot of movement for the back lineup, and especially we've only given up less than one goal a game, so I guess that'll be a Bradley thing. But
you don't want to mess things up too much. But yeah, I think we're down. I think we're advocating for trying some new things out. We've got 3 games coming up that we'll look to hopefully get some points from. But we're gonna head away from home to Nashville, so that'll be an exciting match to watch. We'll be back with a full preview on that. But Justin, final thoughts on should we be freaking out about this draw? I don't think so. I think we're gonna be just fine. I think we take our lessons though from this, and we need to plug up the 81 and on minute. We cannot keep leaking goals, even when we're winning games. It's just the garbage time goals hurt too. Like we just need to be able to be composed and clear all that crap out because you just gotta send it. We're not looking to build or score goals in games like this today. Just clear it. Just get rid of it. Stick a foot in and get it out of our zone. That's all it is.
Especially that late in the game. But did you say crap?
I did say crap.
That? Oh
no, we don't need to bleep the crap. Okay. We don't need to bleep the crap.
No, I would say last minute thoughts. No, don't need to worry about it. It was our first Sunday game midday. I kind of like it. The weather was great.
Yeah,
it was kind of a good change up. I do think that City Park is rocking a lot more on Saturday nights, but so having a Sunday game, a little bit less. You can't really rely on us that much as fans to be like standing the entire time, but I don't know. I don't think it's just a weird one. This whole week was weird. I would like to get out of it, dude.
It was
Wednesday with Dallas, Sunday at home. Can we get back to like what we used to do?
Yeah. Well, we'll close the chapter officially here as we close this pod out. Again, we are live at the pitch. I know we've had some technical issues today. We will work to get those situated and figured out here, but hopefully you all enjoyed this. We'll try to do something like this in the future. And if you're at the pitch, enjoy it. We know Justin is looking at his table.
So is Jake.
I am too.
Yeah.
No, I am too. Everyone enjoys it when we're here. It's an awesome place. If you haven't been out to the pitch yet, definitely get out here. Justin always does some great plugs.
I'm about to say, if you're not here, get here now. It's a Sunday afternoon. Have a little Sunday fun day. Get here for lunch. Get here for dinner. This place is phenomenal. The service is incredible. I love it.
Yeah, we do. We do.
I
love
may
it.
just like bring a pot and just sleep here.
I think they could situate you. They could set you up for sure.
I think right here.
Justin's place. Justin's place. All right. Well, that's all we have for you today. Thank you all for tuning in here. Like and subscribe to the show on YouTube and follow us on socials on Twitter and Instagram at BallWatchingSTL. Like the pod. Subscribe to us on Apple and Spotify. We appreciate you all tuning in. Have a great rest of your week and weekend. Ball Watching signing off.
Offer City.